Boomhauer 69 here. I'm just on my local nature trail on the other end heading west. And I decided to go for, since it's a nice day, go for a walk carrying my backpack hiking gear. And then on this side of the nature trail we also have this little cover pavilion thing here where they're seating and you can sit down and do whatever you need to do. And then right here is also another, this is the actual nature trail parking lot they put in. The other one is the kind of more for the train depot and stuff, but this is the actual, on this side, the east side of the west side of the nature trail. This is the little parking area, and this is another good spot to park. And then also right here they have a little station where you can park your bicycles and pump up your bicycle tires and stuff. Now, what I suggest doing is, I made this hiking backpack. I did a video about it called what's in the pack, and it's my own, what I would use out in the wilderness, camping, hiking. If I ever got lost out in the wilderness, I needed to survive, I would have everything in here I would need to survive. Now, what I suggest doing, if you're going to make a camping, hiking backpack, is I suggest, like I'm doing, is go for a walk somewhere. Get used to the weight of what you're carrying, because one of the worst things you can do here, one of the worst things you can do in a camping, hiking situation, for example, let's say your group of friends are planning on going on a camping, hiking trip, and you go on Amazon or Walmart or go to Cabela's, Gander Mountain, or one of the big camping stores, REI, and you buy up a whole bunch of camping gear, and you just stuff it in a backpack, and you don't think about the weight of it, and then you go and take it with you camping, hiking, camping. You're going to find out the hard way why you should do what I'm doing right now, because you'll find out the hard way that you should have first practiced carrying the weight of it and making sure you can actually carry all this stuff. There's one trick. I watched some YouTubers and witchcraft videos out there where they suggest you should do this, lift your pack up by one hand way over top of your head. And if you can do that way over top of your head, lift it up way over top of your head, then it's easy. Then they say you can possibly carry it. And if you can't do that with your backpack, then they say it's too heavy. Some of them say that it would be too heavy. And what I always do is, I have used this before day hiking with people, but I still carry it everywhere I go, going even on these nature trails, just to get my body used to carrying the weight of it. So when the time comes, I'm out in the middle of the woods or something, and I get lost or something happens, and I gotta camp out overnight, and I'm in that panic mode, my body will be used to carrying the weight of it, and it won't weigh me down and stress me out more. And that's what I recommend anybody doing that carries a hiking backpack with them, is make sure you can handle carrying the weight of the load in the backpack, so you don't find out the hard way. Because, for example, if you're out with your friends hiking and you're going to be camping and you buy all this camping gear, well, that's great, but can you carry it? That's the question. So always make sure you're able to carry that, because if you can't, then you're going to hurt yourself big time. But yeah, I'm just out here on my nature trail walking. Again, practicing with this pack, make sure you get the weight of it, because that's the thing I suggest doing. And if I happen to catch any good wildlife, I'll definitely try to film it here, Right now I'm on the other side of the nature trail here, heading west. This is the other end. The other video I did was about heading east and towards the park, and the state land is back the other way. This area is kind of east, and right now I can't do too much filming of nature and wildlife, because it's just mostly a few trees and residential until I get further out here more. Well, this here, if you keep going this way west, you'll hit the next town over, which is about 6.5 according to the little sign back there. But for those of you who never seen my other videos about the nature trail, which I'll put a link to in the description and stuff of all of them. But what this is used to be a railroad track back in the day, and when I was a kid growing up, it was railroad tracks, and then about maybe 4 or 5 years back, they decided to turn it into a nature trail because this railroad track wasn't getting used much. As you can see, it's starting to be springtime, and you still got a little bit of snow in the area. But yeah, this used to be a railroad track that they converted into a nature trail and stuff. I haven't walked this side much. I've walked the other side, but eventually, as you keep walking, this will take you to the next town over. Don't know what that used to be, but definitely looks a little, thought it was kind of a little rusty. Maybe it's something that was here back during the train days when this was the railroad track. When walking this nature trail, you'll find this stuff along the way, little benches where you can sit down and take a rest. Usually people, they in memory of their loved ones or whatever, and we have these all over our town. These are things where people that live in the area can I don't know how to do it, but they can go to like the village office and request and have one of these order up and a little in loving memory of their family member or whatever, and the village will order up and have it made and then stick it somewhere in town or whatever. I don't know how they go about getting one of these, But yeah, here's maps, so you can see where you're at if you get lost or something. And I think it's good that they have a trash can there also, so you don't have to worry about people littering. Even though there's a trash can there, people still throw their litter all over it. But yeah. But one thing too is I like about carrying this pack too is the heat from it. Walking and stuff and carrying it, the heat will keep my backside warm and kind of keep my body heat a little warm. And again, all I have in this backpack that I carry it's just your typical camping, hiking gear that you would have when you're out camping, hiking somewhere in the woods, and the typical stuff you would need to build your camp and survive. Like I got my Arcturus, I have a hard time pronouncing it, survival all-weather blanket tarp in here. I got gear to build a campfire and stuff if I would say I didn't know where I was at and I got lost and I had to do it was getting dark out and I had to camp somewhere I could be able to, with the gear in here, build a shelter, build a fire, and stay warm stuff. And the backpack, again, I'm using is a Militech brand backpack for my hiking gear. I'll put a Amazon link in the description for that as well. But the sleeping bag I have and that I went with in here is like a Revival. I think they call it Revival Camp. I think it was. It's called. I'll again put an Amazon link in the description. And that's just one of those rated for adults, teens, kind of family use. It's not a sleeping bag I would necessarily say one should take super serious, but it's better than nothing kind of bag. It's a sleeping bag I would call a better than nothing kind of sleeping bag. Well, yeah, right here is we're heading west on the still on the what used to be the actual Grand Trunk railway system for all you train enthusiasts. This back in the day was a railroad track owned by the Grand Trunk railway system and stuff, and it's really neat. Oh, there's some kind of neat things, some bumper scrap stuff. Makes you wonder how stuff like that kind of got there. Probably been there for years and years and years, and somebody just abandoned it. Well, yeah, it makes you wonder how some of that stuff, ends up there. But yeah, this used to be back in the day. I talked about in my previous videos and previous hiking videos. But this used to be owned by the Grand Trunk Railway System. Back in the day, this was the railway that my grandpa and great grandparents would have took to go to the next town, and then years later, I think around 2013, maybe 2015, the I always called it the West Michigan Bicycle Trail Organization, bought this railway from the Grand Trunk, the railway company. I don't know if at the time when it was sold, if Grand Trunk still owned it, but anyways, the railway company sold it to the Western Michigan Bicycle Trail, and West Michigan Bicycle Trail got permission from the Federal Government Transportation Board to convert this into a bicycle trail, bicycle walking, hiking trail, nature trail, whatever you want to call it. Because all they had to do was get permission and make sure this wasn't considered a main railway, and they could do that. So if you ever wonder, because I looked it up and stuff in the past, and if you ever wonder how these old railroad tracks in Michigan can be taken up and turned into hiking trails, it's because some of them are not considered a main rail line, and then if it's considered a main rail line, then they can't do that for obvious reasons. But if it's like this, when I'm on, and considered not a main railway system, then they can tear it up and turn it into a nature trail. And that's what happened, is the railway company didn't need this rail line no more, so they sold it to the organization that converted it over to a nature trail. Yeah, a lot of forestry trails. I think I'm gonna probably say this is about maybe my first time ever walking this side, because normally I walk the other side, because the other side was like the first to be completed, and then a couple year or two later they did this side and stuff and tore up the tracks and made it. But the other end, east, back that way, that I did a video about, I walked that side more than I have this side, and I decided to at my best do a video about this side and stuff. So yeah, well, here's some more kind of nature scenery, open fields. Now this land right here and stuff, as far as I know, it's just privately owned land, where it's privately owned land, and it's nice to see the nature and stuff. I don't know who owns it, maybe the county or somebody, you know. But yeah, this is heading west to the next town over. But yeah, on that side right over there, that's where the Grand River is. So if you was to go through these woods, you would eventually, and you keep walking in a straight line, you basically run into the Grand River. So yeah, it looks like they were clearing a lot of brush here at one time. All these trees down and stuff, you know. Yeah, it looks like see if I can't zoom in on it a little bit, but looks like a gravel pit. Yeah, and that's a main road there. That's why you see traffic on it. Looks like that. Yeah, I remember, if I remember right, that was a gravel pit. I don't know if it's still active or what. I think what it is that would flood really bad, and make a big old giant lake. And I think the people who owned it and tried to turn it into a gravel pit, I think they just kind of up and abandoned it. I don't know. But yeah, on this nature trail, it's pretty quiet and calm in this area, and you don't have to worry about too many dangers or anything. Like in Michigan, we have bears, but down around my area and on this nature trail, it is very, very, very rare, and I can't stress out, very rare, that you would run across a bear in this part. You know, you might, but it's going to be a very rare thing. But the only danger you would have down around here, like far as like wildlife attacking you, is you would run into a skunk more than you would anything else. You know, skunks would be the ones that would get you, or if one of these nearby houses doggy got loose and wanted to chase her, you'd have to deal with a dog more. But actually, the only, because I've in the past walked this nature trail so many times, and there so many times, and the only thing I ever really came across was the smell of a skunk. I didn't actually see the skunk, but I smelt it. So yeah, that's the only thing you would have to really, and then animal feces, you'd have to watch out for dog poop, and typical animal feces on this nature trail. That's the only dangers or troubles you're going to run into, I would say. Like, I know some nature trails in my state are considered high crime areas, but I haven't, as far as I know, I haven't heard about any on this West Michigan Bicycle Trail in my area. I haven't heard of any crime happening or any dangers on it. So if you're walking this trail, I think you're pretty safe. The only danger, again, you're going to run into is most likely just Pepe Le Pew, a skunk, or something. And that would be about it. Well, as you can see there's a farmer's cornfield. That's what you kind of see on this nature trail. As you get on one side, you'll get some beautiful nature kind of woodsy stuff, and then on the other side you'll get residential houses and stuff. But yeah, there's a nice 100-year-old barn. That's a kind of neat. Now, walking on this nature trail, one thing you want to do, which I didn't do, is bring any water. You want to make sure you have water to hydrate yourself. I'm not one of those needing water right now, but that's one thing you should take into consideration, as you walk these nature trails, is make sure you have some water with you, or some sort of way to filter water if you come across a puddle of water or something, so you don't lose your hydration and stuff. So, well, I think I'll walk a little more down this way on this nature trail, and then probably turn around and head back home. And so yeah, but basically, again, heading east on the West Michigan Bicycle Trail, and there's the main road in town. So if you're worried about on this side really getting lost, there's a main road just like two feet that way, and take the next town over. So again, if you're walking this nature trail, you really can't get lost. Because both directions, if you keep walking them, you eventually run into a next town over or something where you can get help or whatever if you truly get lost, if you're not from around here. So that's why I say this nature trail is pretty safe, because there's on this part of the nature trail, there's 10 miles, the one side that I did a video about. You walk 10 miles and you're in the next town over. You walk this way and you're in the next town over, and so you really can't per se get lost or have any issues. But yeah, for you people who find barns interesting, there's another 100-year-old barn. Well, that barn's not necessarily 100 years old, but by the looks of it, it probably is. Oh, there's a good view of the river. Yep, that river right there, that's the Grand River. So yeah, and again, that Grand River, that's a really flat river where if you like a river that's just real flat and easy to kayak and go tubing. If you like going on tubes and floating down a river, being lazy, that's the Grand River's a real nice river for tubing and kayaking, because there ain't It ain't one of those rivers where it's like a bunch of white water. It's just a real flat river, and I have some uncles that like to fish that, and if they comment on this video, they can tell you how good of a fishing spot that is. But yeah, we're next down over there, some more brush and stuff. But yeah, on these nature trails, every so often you'll see these little mile markers that tells you how far it is, you know. One thing I suggest doing, which I don't in this pack right now, is if you're gonna hike this trail, carry a map with you just in case you get lost. But yeah, again, on this side of the nature trail, there's a main road there, so if you don't know where you don't know much about this nature trail and you get lost, you know, you can just walk that road and it will take you to the next town over. Or if you just keep walking back that way on the nature trail and just keep walking, you'll come into residential town area. And well, I figure this would be a good spot to end the video with the barn in the background there. But yeah, if you like these sort of nature trail videos, subscribe to the channel because you'll help me out, because I plan on doing more videos on walking around, traveling, and visit different places. And I'm not used to this blogging stuff. I'm new to this whole thing, so that's why I thought, well, I'd walk my nature trail and try to do a video about the nature trail best to my knowledge, to practice and, you know, and practice my skills of holding a camera and talking and all that stuff. So I do apologize for the videos kind of being long, because I'm new to this whole thing, and I don't know, I'm going to say right out, I don't know really when doing these sort of videos, like what should I film and what should I talk about and different things. So I'm just trying my best and doing the best I can, and I hope you stick around, because you're going to help me out, and I'll learn as I go along this whole YouTube thing and about how to do videos and stuff. But yeah, in Michigan we have a lot of them old 100-year-old red barns. I used to live next to one. I'll tell you a quick little story. My old farmer friend that passed away in 2016, he used to own an old 100-year-old red barn that his great-grandpa built, or grandfather built, I should say. But yeah, if you like these sort of videos, please subscribe to the channel, because you're going to help me out. And as I more do this, I will get better at it, I guarantee you, as time goes on. And comment below what your thoughts is about this video and what you liked about it and stuff, and suggest, and feel free to make suggestions about the video, like, was it good, was it crappy, or you should have talked about this instead of this, or whatever the case may be, because yeah, you're definitely going to help me out. And again, want to say thank you for watching the video, and I hope you all have a good day. And if you live in Michigan right now, it's about, in my area, 41 degrees out, so get out there and enjoy the nice weather, and hope you all have a good day, and thank you for watching.